Welcome back to Ghost Pirate Entertainment. I'm your host, Kanan Becker, and today we do another deep dive into Netflix. And with that, let's get to the list. The Block Island Sound is a 2020 sci-fi horror movie, written and directed by Kevin and Matthew McManus. It stars Chris Sheffield and Michaela McManus. The story's about a fisherman's family who encounter horrors and dark truths when an ominous force off the coast of Block Island starts killing wildlife.
Something's wrong. Something with the island. You know it, I know it. I want to get to the bottom of it.
This is a damn good movie, and it's a very small one, so I get why it's never really gotten any buzz, but I think especially for a creepy, dread-filled, slow burn kind of horror movie, for a very small indie one, this does a really good job. Because it's one of those movies that just kind of slowly pulls you down into the creepiness. There'll be some really bizarre, weird thing that'll happen, and then it slowly pulls you down and you get more and more full of dread, and then another creepy thing. And then by the end, you get this really interesting payoff that leaves you contemplating the movie and really thinking about it after the fact. So I think if you enjoy small, indie, sci-fi horror, this is one you should definitely give a look. Peninsula is a 2020 South Korean post-apocalyptic action horror movie. Co-written and directed by Yeon Sang-ho, it stars Gang Dong-won, Lee Young-hyun, and Kwon Hae-yo. It takes place 4 years after the zombie outbreak from Train to Busan, and now the Korean peninsula is completely overran, so a former soldier who has managed to escape overseas is given a mission to go back and unexpectedly meet survivors.
살고 싶으면 타요.
So it's really unfortunate because I think this movie is a lot better than it's given credit for. But everybody was so blown away by Train to Busan. It went so viral and it's so beloved. And most people, including myself, consider it one of the best zombie movies, especially of the last 20 years. And so when this came out, there was a lot of hype around it. A lot of people were really anticipating, the same filmmakers and everybody involved, that this is going to be more budget and even a better movie, or at the very least, as good. And this just isn't, but it also went in a very different direction with it. Instead of it really pulling at their heartstrings and having this phenomenal cast and all of that like the first one did, where that was truly what made that movie so special, this one leans much more into being an action thriller and lots of zombies. I mean, just crazy special effects, huge amounts of CGI, and just wild cartoon levels of things. And so with expectations, of course, that is just not going to work if you're coming off of Train to Busan. However, I do think if you rewatch it now, or if you haven't seen it because you've heard the bad publicity around it, I think now is a good time to give it a watch, because it isn't Train to Busan. But if you watch it and just enjoy it for what it is, it's a fun time. It's so full of action and bizarre, like I said, cartoon level special effects. The cast also, I think, does a great job in it. But if you enjoyed the movie World War Z and just that over-the-top levels of zombies and craziness, this is right up that alley. So it drops on Netflix on May 2nd, and I think it's definitely worth giving a chance.
Oh no. If this makes any sense. Who says it has to make sense?
Prey is a 2021 German psychological thriller. Directed by Thomas Sieben, it stars David Cross, Hanno Hoffler, and Maria Erich. A hiking trip into the wild turns into a desperate bid for survival for 5 friends on the run from a mysterious shooter.
Whoa. Hunting season?
This isn't a hunting ground anyway.
Shit. What are they doing? I think they're trying to kill us.
This is an absolute nail biter. It is so intense, heart pounding, just absolutely keeps you on the edge of your seat the entire time, because you're only a matter of minutes into this before the craziness begins. And this group of 5 friends that seem like a nice group of guys are just absolutely under assault from a crazy sniper, and they can't see who it is, and they don't know what's going on. They just know that they're under attack and being hunted. And so even though it is a pretty simple concept and setup, and there isn't a ton of story, so to speak, in this, it really works because the nature and the location and the way it's shot is just gorgeous, but also becomes part of what they're up against, because not only are they trying to survive this shooter, but they also have to get through the wilderness and survive that as well. And it takes some pretty cool twists and turns and keeps you guessing through a lot of the movie. And it is a German movie, but there is a pretty good dubbed version available on Netflix. They're pretty good about that, but you could also put on the subtitles and watch it in its original language as well. But if you're looking for a psychological thrill ride, this is a great pick. Hard Eyes is a 2025 rom-com slasher. Directed by Josh Rubin, it stars Olivia Holt, Mason Gooding, and Devon Sawa. For the past several years, the Hard Eyes killer has wreaked havoc on Valentine's Day by stalking and murdering romantic couples. And on this Valentine's Day, no couple is safe.
He's like Cupid with a kink.
This is a very fun one. It's one I have talked about quite a bit on the channel, so I'm not going to go too deep into it again here, but it's finally available now on Netflix, so you can watch it as long as you have a membership for free. It drops on May 8th, so if you're one of those out there that have yet to see this, I think you're really going to enjoy it. And I also want to bring attention to my Hard Eyes Killer mask right over here. I want to thank Prop Dude for making that for me. He's over on Etsy, so definitely go check him out. But I just really love how this was able to so seamlessly mix together a rom-com and then put a brutal slasher element to it as well, because those things don't seem like they would work, but at least for me, they worked extremely well in this. It's funny, it's well written, the dialogue works, and it's also very gory and over the top. So I think without a doubt, it is definitely worth your time.
That you are amazing.
Malevolent is a 2018 British horror movie. Directed by Olaf de Fleur, it stars Florence Pugh, Ben Lloyd Hughes, and Scott Chambers. The story's about a team of scam artists who get more than they bargained for when a job at a country estate gets out of hand.
I just want a quiet house.
If you can control a situation,
Stop it.
sell it. You can influence others.
I have loved this movie for many years now, and I've been talking about it here on the channel as often as I can get away with, because I still feel like it never gets the recognition it deserves. Because for a psychological, supernatural, weird kind of movie, this one does it so well. For one, the cast is incredible. I mean, Florence Pugh, of course, we all know at this point what an incredible actress she is. But I also think Ben Lloyd Hughes and Scott Chambers are both amazing in this and really make it work as well. It's just such a well shot movie. The dialogue, the storytelling, the pacing of it, I really enjoy. It's a slow moving movie without ever feeling boring. It keeps you invested. It keeps you in it the entire time. And so much of that has to do with the mood, the atmosphere, the set design, the costume designs, just the way the movie looks and feels overall. But my favorite thing about this movie is the way that it ends, because it is absolutely a psychological mindfuck and keeps you guessing throughout. And even by the end, you're still left going, what? And it takes a minute for all of it to kind of hit you and for you to just totally unpack this movie. And I love psychological thrillers that make me think, and this is one that definitely made me think. So I just think this is an amazing little movie that I highly recommend.
I'm just really scared that something bad is going to happen. Rose.
Smile is a 2022 psychological horror movie, written and directed by Parker Finn in his feature film debut. It stars Sosie Bacon, Jesse T. Usher, and Caitlin Stasey. The story's about a therapist who witnesses a bizarre self-harming and goes through increasingly disturbing and daunting experiences, leading her to believe what she is experiencing is supernatural.
You're going to die! You're going to die! You're going to...
This is such a brilliant movie, and it's great because when I first saw this right out of the theater a couple years ago, I never expected it to kick off what it has. I didn't expect the audience to love it the way they had and to go out and support it in theaters the way that they did. It's really one of the more impressive success stories for an original horror movie we've had in a while. And a lot of that you could put on Parker Finn because his writing style, his directing style, just the way this movie feels overall is amazing. And he really proved what a talented filmmaker he is with Smile 2, because as much as I love this movie, I personally enjoyed Smile 2 even more. But that's not to say that in any way I don't think this is still a brilliant movie. I just felt like his messaging about mental illness and all those things hit even harder in that second film for me. But in this movie, you also have to give credit to his entire team, especially the cast, because Sosie Bacon really pulls it off in this. And prior to seeing this, I didn't know much about her. I knew that she was the daughter of Kevin Bacon, but that was it. I hadn't really ever seen her act in anything, and I was just floored at her level of emotion and the range and all the different things that she pulls off in this movie, as well as the body performances. I mean, there's a lot that she had to do in this movie, and she's flawless. So it drops onto Netflix on May 14th, and if you're someone out there that is yet to see it, or if you're just someone wanting to rewatch it, now is a great time to do that.
You might be what it was looking for.
Choose or Die is a 2022 horror thriller directed by Toby Meekins in his feature directorial debut. It stars Viola Evans, Asa Butterfield, and Robert Englund. After firing up a lost 1980s survival horror video game, a young coder unleashes a hidden curse that tears reality apart.
Seem to affect reality.
You have to choose, Kayla. Choose or die.
So I don't get why more people didn't talk about this, because sure, it doesn't reinvent the wheel. It's not a game changer. This is not a horror movie that you're going to be talking about 20 years from now or whatever, but it is a fun one. It's very entertaining and it's unique. The directions that it takes, the different kind of visuals that it puts down, just the angles that it takes, the whole concept here and the way they go about it, it just has a real fun, fresh feel to it. I also really like the cast. I think they do a great job here, but like I said, it's a lighthearted movie, a movie not to take too serious, that just is a very fun time. It's just a movie to not take overly serious and just relax and have a good time with. But I think if you're in the mood for a popcorn horror movie or one to just kind of have on in the background that you can have a good time with, this is a fantastic pick. Love, Death, and Robots is an adult animated series created by Tim Miller with various artists involved. It's a collection of animated short stories that span various genres, including sci-fi, fantasy, horror, and comedy.
Look at that thing!
It's one of the fallen.
So Volume 4 drops on the 15th of May, and it's not all horror, but there's a lot of creepy elements about this show. Each season or volume, whatever you want to call it, has a lot of uncomfortable things. It goes in some wild, bizarre directions, very adult-oriented content. This is not a kid's cartoon by any means. But it's so cool because it has all these different animation styles and the feel of them all is unique. Each one, some of them will connect to each other in different ways, but they're all various styles. Like I said, they're different genres and there's different styles of storytelling. Just a lot of artistry involved in this series. But there have been some different episodes in this that just have haunted my dreams. Like some of the more creepy stuff you'll see has been on this series. So if you haven't seen this, there's 3 other seasons available right now on Netflix, and the 4th, like I said, on May 15th. So I think this is one you absolutely need to put on your calendar. Remember is a 2022 Japanese mystery horror movie. Directed by Ichiro Hasumi, it stars Kana Hashimoto, Gordon Maeda, and Maika Yamamoto. A high school student and her friends are trapped in a time loop by a ghost, and the only way to escape is to find the corpse of the previous victim. So this is another one that is just very fun. It's one that if you try to pick it apart, you'll probably take issues with it. It is another that has almost a cartoon level of just the over-the-top nature of a lot of the gore and the special effects, and the different things that this movie visually throws at you have that feel to them. But I found it to be super fun. I really liked the teenagers involved in this. They didn't seem really annoying like a lot of our American teen horror movies, you know, our PG-13 horror movies. A lot of those teens can get on your nerves. These ones didn't. They felt likable and enjoyable. I also really liked the different twists and turns that this takes. Stuff to do with the lore and the different storytelling devices and the uniqueness of it because of it being Japanese. I liked that flavor that was put on this. It just felt very unique to me. But there's a lot of action in this. It gets pretty wild. And I think if you're just looking for something to be entertained by, this is a great pick. Fear Street Prom Queen is a 2025 slasher horror movie, directed by Matt Palmer and based on the novel The Prom Queen from the Fear Street book series. It stars Indiana Fowler, Susanna Sun, and Fina Straza. When the It Girls competing for Prom Queen at Shadyside High School start to disappear, a gutsy outsider discovers she's in for one hell of a prom night.
This is Shadyside. Nice girls don't win. How do we get out of here?
So a few years ago, when we had all 3 of the Fear Street trilogy drop on Netflix, I was pleasantly surprised. Now, I enjoyed some of them more than others, but in general, I thought they were all really enjoyable. I thought they were fun. They were very much over the top. They were definitely a little bit teen oriented, but there was a lot of gore and it really leaned into a lot of the different concepts and things that it was working with. I also really enjoyed the different time periods and how, especially the one in '94 was a big flashback for me. But this one is done by a different director. So I don't know if it's going to be on the same quality level as those. I don't know if it's tonally going to be the same. We have a trailer now. It doesn't show a ton, but it does look like it's going to be fun. Of course, it's going to be teen oriented again, but it also looks like it's going to be violent and gory and over the top as well. But Netflix at least believes in this, as they're dropping it at the end of the month. So that's when they generally put their big new original movies, so there's not any other competition on the platform. So that's saying at the very least they think it's going to do well. So it drops on May 23rd, and I have my fingers crossed that it's going to be a good time. But that's going to do it for me today. But do yourself a favor, pick one of the movies off of this list, grab your popcorn and your candy, and enjoy. And I want to give a huge, massive, enormous thank you to the Ghost Pirate crew, to you guys over on Patreon, and to the channel members over here. You guys mean so much to me. And if you would like to help support this channel over on Patreon, there's a link down in the description. Or you can become a channel member by clicking on the join button down there and help support the channel that way. But like always, thank you so much for watching. Please crush that like button. And remember, guys, horror can be fun. And if you enjoyed this, click right here to watch me talk about 10 more movies that I highly recommend. And I'll see you guys next time.